Have you ever looked at data storytelling by outlets like the New York Times and thought, how do I do that? Well, be intimidated no more, because this episode is all about making data visualization easy. Data or data, tomato or tomato, however you say it, strong data visualization has become indispensable to journalism. But it can be a little hard to wrap your head around. Numbers tell a story. We only need to look at the COVID pandemic when newsrooms are updating case numbers, sometimes hourly. Sometimes a simple bar chart or a pie chart will do the job. Other times you need something more sophisticated, such as scrollytelling, like the Financial Times or BBC do really well. At Canva, we're particularly excited to have Flourish in the mix, in part because the data visualization tool was created by journalists for journalists. Let's hear from co-founder Duncan.
Hi, my name's Duncan. I'm the co-founder of Flourish, a tool for data storytelling and interactive content. So I was an environment journalist at The Guardian, where I was focusing on environment and climate change. And obviously that's a very data-rich topic. It's got data at its core, and to tell those stories well, you have to be able to understand the data and tell those stories that are in the data. I found myself increasingly seeing myself as a data journalist and a visual journalist. But the challenge with being in a newsroom and trying to do interactive visual journalism is that if you do it all bespoke, while you can produce wonderful outputs, it's just very slow and very time consuming. So what we really tried to do with Flourish is to make a tool that lets people not only produce high quality interactive content, but to produce it at scale, to produce it fast, and to produce it without needing months of planning in advance. I think the potential for Flourish and Canva together is absolutely massive. On the Canva side, there's this incredible tool that newsrooms can use to produce images, social, videos, things like that. On the Flourish side, you've got the toolkit for data storytelling, but also interactive content generally. And I think if you put those two things together, it's a pretty killer mix.
Today, we're going to show you how to use Canva to help tell your data stories with clarity. And we've enlisted someone who's constantly presenting statistics here at Canva, our social analytics expert, Corey. She'll show us how to use Canva Infographics and the data visualization tool, Flourish. Over to you, Corey.
Thanks, Jonathan. Hi, I'm Corey, and I'm looking forward to showing you how to wrangle data with ease using Canva's data visualization tools. If you'd like to practice your own data visualization skills, we have a workbook to share, which you can use after you've watched this video. Access the mobile version through this QR code or the desktop version via the link in the video description. Let's jump into Canva.
Let's start with how to use Canva for simple data. Pictograms and infographics are great to use on social tiles or in videos when you want to express simple numbers. Let's say I need to show the results of a recent poll. I'll navigate to my brand templates and choose a social template like this one that already has a graph in it. I'll click Use this template and update the information for week 16 with the new poll results. To update the figures, I click on the graph to see the side panel here. Next, I'll update the text on the slide to match the new numbers and realign them with the graph. I can adjust the settings on my graph here and make the design simpler by switching labels or grid lines on or off. When you're ready to preview, press the play button up here to see how this graph animates. Once you're happy, you can share with the world by clicking Share up here to download, share directly to your social channels, or schedule for a later date. There are lots of ways to display simple data. If you click Charts here in the menu sidebar, you can see a range of options. If you can't see charts, just check the More tab below. If you just want to show one statistic, you could make a pictogram like this one, representing 8 out of 10 people. Add your caption underneath. Now let's explore how Canva can help you display more complex data sets by importing data straight into Canva. Imagine I want to represent some COVID data. I'll choose another social template like this one and remove the picture and frame so we have a blank space. From the Charts tab, I'll select a line chart. I can adjust the data manually in the side panel here like before, but in this instance, I'm going to clear that data and connect to a Google Sheet. I'll select the sheet for my account here, then pick where it's going to import data from. I'll fill the fields I want to pull from, in this case A1 to C31, then click Update. Now we can see a display of COVID cases per million people in the United States and Australia. It's quite visually busy, so in the settings, I'll remove the grid lines and the guides, then make it on brand by changing the colors. Finally, I'll add the news headline. And there you have a super simple graph created from imported data from Google Sheets. If you don't use Google Sheets, you can also just copy and paste data into the fields in the side panel from any spreadsheet. Then you could share the post, download it, or schedule it to socials. So that's how to display fairly simple data. But if you want to tell a story with complex data sets, you can use the incredible data visualization tool Flourish, which is integrated with Canva and creates detailed and interactive visualizations. Let's take a look at how to connect a Flourish account to Canva. I'll start with a blank presentation slide. To find Flourish, click the More tab and scroll down to the Import Your Media section. You'll see a huge range of media sources you can connect to, including Flourish. Once you click the Flourish icon, it will be added to your sidebar menu. You'll be prompted to connect to your Flourish account. Any Flourish designs in your account will be displayed in the side panel, ready to insert into your Canva design. On this occasion, I want to create a new Flourish design, so I'll head over to my Flourish account to create one from scratch. Here, I'm in Flourish. You can start by clicking New Visualization. This displays an array of amazing templates including projection maps, scatter plots, hierarchy charts, network graphs, and timeline visualizations. I'll do a simple column chart. Each of these charts contains some dummy data already, so you can experiment with how to use the chart. In this instance, I'll replace that with my COVID data showing COVID cases per country per million over time. These highlighted columns show which values will be displayed. But I'll change this here in the right side panel, so we're displaying all columns out to H. Now you can see column A through H are selected. To see the graph, I click Preview, and I can see the countries represented by different colors. The wonderful thing is this is interactive, so you can choose which countries to visualize by clicking on them. I can compare Australia and the US, or Germany and India. To take this further, I can click up here to create a story, which is a compelling way to narrate through the data. Perhaps I might start by looking only at the US and talk about different peaks, adding in the slide caption here. Then I could duplicate this and highlight Australia and the US and add a story copy up here. Then I could add another slide focusing on Germany and Brazil. You can keep customizing these graphs and create a narrative where the data tells your story. When you're ready, you can export and publish here. You can embed the story in your website, or you can add this to a Canva presentation. Let's hear from Louisa, a data journalist at Flourish, on how one media organization created a data story using the interactive maps template in their report about the Pandora Papers.
Another thing you can do with Flourish is create interactive and explorable maps. Here's an example by Finance Uncovered, which is a small UK-based newsroom that focuses on investigative financial reporting. They used Flourish to create this interactive map story where you can drag along a timeline and find more out about the Pandora Papers. Specifically, they were researching properties in London that were owned by various people that were exposed in the Pandora Papers. So in this example, I can hover over certain properties, I can pause the timeline at the top, I can interact with the map and get more information on the topics that I'm interested in, but it all remains fully interactive and I can also press play. So this is a really nice example of combining exploration with explanation, as I have my captions in the top and I can explain to my user what they're seeing, whilst also giving them the option to explore for themselves.
Back in Canva, I can add Flourish content to any slide, as an individual asset like graphs, or a full data story presentation displaying the narrative of that data set. But there are so many ways you can visualize data. If I pop back into Flourish, let's look at a couple more. Bar chart race is another great one, in this case showing population growth over time. I love the way this one animates. One of my favorites is Sunburst, which is essentially an interactive hierarchy chart. The dummy data here shows information about movies. I can filter by studio or genre. It's a quick and visually engaging way to get answers. The possibilities and data storytelling opportunities are endless.
Data journalism is only growing, and with Canva and Flourish, you've got accessible tools at your fingertips. Coming up in our next episode, we'll create YouTube thumbnails and artwork for your podcasts. See you then.